Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to SL Preem. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Pixel Buds 2. And the way I'm structuring this video is going to be in 4 pros and 4 cons, and then finally a conclusion at the end, should you buy it or not. So starting with the first pro, these actually sound pretty decent. I was very surprised by this sound, but the problem is at launch, it did not sound good. Only with a software update, Google finally added an option to finally turn on bass boost. And before that, the bass was almost non-existent. Like, it just sounded very flat. But the good thing, they added that Pixel feature drop update, and now it actually sounds pretty decent. So now, one con, whenever you're listening to music and it gets quiet or there's like a pause in a YouTube video or something, you can sort of hear a little hiss, like it's very low, so you wouldn't hear it if you're in a room full of loud noises or whatever. You wouldn't hear the hiss, but if you're in a quiet place trying to study or something, then you might hear a little hiss. So in my usage, I did get used to the hiss, but in the very beginning it bothered me to death. Like, I really hated it. And on to the next pro is actually the aesthetics. I really like the look and build of this device. Everything feels really solid. As you can hear, it's very satisfying. And the actual buds look pretty great. And now for the con, the ear tip design, it's a good idea, but it doesn't fit all ears. Like, I heard a lot of other reviewers saying that it makes the buds feel really tightly snug in their ear. But in my usage, I always have to wiggle it around, and it doesn't really feel that secure. So if you have weird ears, these might not fit too well, and if you shake your head a little bit, it might just fall out. So another pro about the Pixel Buds is that it has really great features. For example, fast pairing. You can pair it almost instantly. You can almost grab out your pixels, put them on, and then by the time they're in your ear, it's all good to go. Like I mentioned before, there are Pixel feature drops updates, and it's always getting more support, more fixes, and more features. So you can actually update it within the Bluetooth settings, and you have some options over here: HD audio, in-ear detection, so it would, stop playing when you take them out of your ear, or sharing. If you're sharing it with someone, it would auto detect that. And additionally, you can see here the bass boost I mentioned earlier, adaptive sound, so it would adjust the volume based on your environment automatically. And these niche features like baby crying. If you have a baby, you should probably not wear headphones, but it does actually work. One time I put them on, and then I started making baby noises like, and it actually kind of worked. My volume basically decreased by a substantial amount, and then I can basically hear what's going on around me. By the way guys, if you can spare 5 seconds to leave a like and subscribe, I'm trying to reach 4,000 subscribers by the end of 2020, and I would appreciate your help. Thank you. So with great features, there are actually some issues too for a lot of users, especially on the Pixel Buds Reddit. So if you want to find out what type of issues people are having with this set of headphones, make sure you guys go to r/pixelbuds. And one of the major issues is connection drops. So you would be listening to your music and whatever, and then suddenly it would just cut out every 1 minute and 55 seconds intervals, always cutting out. It would drive people insane, and I know that because it happened to me. And apparently it's some sort of issue that only happens with some users. So MBKHD, I think he had a perfectly fine Pixel Bud, and that's why he gave out a good review. But in my case, it was happening a lot. And the thing is, they actually fixed it in an update, so now it's not cutting out every 1 minute and 55 seconds, or is it 150? I don't remember. Either way, it cuts out a lot. And now, instead of cutting out at 155, it just cuts out at random times. Like sometimes if I put my ears next to my head, or if I put my hands next to my head, it would just cut out. And that makes it one of the biggest deal breakers. Like it doesn't have a stable connection. At any time, it can just go out for no reason. I have no idea why this is happening, but it shouldn't happen on $179 headphones. Alright, finally we have the final pro, and that is the case battery. This actually holds the advertised 24 hours of playback. So not on the actual buds, but the total amount of time the charger, the actual case, can actually hold the charge. So I can recharge my buds a lot, actually, like 4 or 5 times depending on my use, and that adds up to around 24 hours like they advertised. So now for the final con is, you might have guessed, the actual battery life on the buds. Since I recharge so many times, you probably would guess that these aren't that crazy. I don't know why, the battery drains really fast. So I only use these in bursts of 2 to 3 hours. And after that, the battery would drop to 0 in almost 4 hours. And I don't like to drain the batteries completely because they do use lithium ion batteries, and that basically means that they degrade every time you go from 0 to 100, 0 to 100. And over time, the battery will degrade so much that these are going to be useless. So I want to make them last as long as possible. And so that leads me to the final verdict. Don't buy these. I want to spare you pain. Okay, I was so mad that I bought brand new headphones and then they just didn't work. I don't want you to go through that. So definitely do not buy these. And my overall rating would be a 6.5 out of 10. If it had a stable connection, I would give it 8.5. And if it had no static hiss, it'd be 9 out of 10. And then if it had good battery life, then bang, 10 out of 10. So next year, I hope we get Pixel Buds 3 with everything 10 out of 10. That's all for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and peace.